Hello, everybody, and I would like to thank my wonderful subscribers. Hello, everybody, and today we are going to be reacting to 4 disturbing true trespassing horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. This was made 4 months ago, and I am 85% sure I haven't seen it. So, let's get into it right now. You do this.
Your perfect
Volume
domain
up.
is out there.
Yeah, zoom in. Trespassing horror stories. Oh, story 1 by Ted.
Not to get too deep into backstory, nor disclose too much personal information about myself.
Okay.
I'll just come right out and say it, that I've always been a reclusive person.
Okay,
ever since
that's
I was
not
a young
bad.
kid. I didn't have many friends at all, and I spent most of my time playing
Neither
video
do
games
I.
on the computer, or varying consoles I grew up with. As I got older, like high school, I started to get into just going on long walks exploring.
Oh,
I'd
can't
walk through
say
the woods,
I'm
walk
into
through
that.
cemeteries, and then I developed an obsession with trespassing, going places I wasn't supposed to be.
Oh, so you're the trespasser in this one. Okay. Where did you go?
It started with sneaking into cemeteries at night.
Oh.
Then I started getting more experimental with it.
Yeah?
Like exploring abandoned hospitals and schools.
Okay, where do you live that you would near all this abandoned shit? Like, I cannot tell you one abandoned building in my city. I can't tell you one. What is this, like, secret society of hidden abandoned buildings? Where are all the companies that are abandoning these buildings? Like, tell me. Please, in the comments below, answer me.
When I was finally able to drive, it made accessing all these places much easier, of course.
I bet.
I only went with one of my few friends once or twice. Honestly, I enjoyed it more by myself. Part of my weirdness includes the fact that I don't get scared exploring abandoned places at night by myself.
Okay.
Or perhaps I should use past tense and say, I didn't used to get scared.
Ooh, something happened.
How I used to find a lot of abandoned structures was simpler than you might think. I would just go on Google Earth and zoom into rural areas. Then I would look for abandoned-looking structures in unsuspecting places.
Google Earth.
Then make a list of 5 to 10 locations of these structures and try to visit them all in one day.
What?
Sometimes they wouldn't be abandoned at all.
Oh.
But I eventually got pretty good at gauging which ones would be.
So, you just, tried to figure it out? Really? I feel like there has to be a better way. Like, maybe looking at business catalogs or something. But also, 5 to 10 locations in a day. I feel like 2 could fill up a whole day of fun. Unless it's a really small building.
This hobby involved a lot of walking through woods.
Yeah.
And yes, before you ask,
what?
I did have a job.
What is it?
I worked a minimum wage job as a stock boy at a supermarket.
Okay.
So when I wasn't doing that or in school, a lot of time I was doing this.
Okay.
One of the places on my list one day turned out to be an abandoned little church.
Ooh.
I had to park on a dirt road and get out of my car to walk. It was about a 10-minute walk. I'd always wear jeans and boots so that I travel faster through the woods without hurting myself.
Good protection.
I started noticing old, rusted garbage cans and other junk scattered in the woods,
For
indicating
the
I must have been
church.
close. And then I saw the clearing in the distance approaching, along with the structure. And there it was,
The church.
some dilapidated old church sitting
How
in
big
a random
was it?
clearing in the woods. It had an old well right in front of the building. I walked over to it to see if it had been sealed,
Oh.
but surprisingly it hadn't been.
It's a baby.
I looked down, and it was so deep that it was pitch black down there.
Oh.
When I stopped and listened, though, I heard something down there.
Water?
It was a faint clicking sound. It happens like on a river.
Birds?
One click after 2 seconds. It didn't sound like water droplets. The best I could describe it is a stick being tapped on a stone wall.
Oh.
Curious,
A branch? It might be a branch that fell down the well, clicking constantly.
stared down for longer than I probably should have, kind of like I was hypnotized by the sound. But eventually, I broke out of my daze and decided to go inside the church. I stepped onto the creaking wood porch, and the rotted boards gave slightly under my weight.
To be
expected. The large
expected.
double doors were ajar. Not surprising. Out of all the abandoned structures I'd visited, unless it was a very well-known one posted frequently in subreddits, there wouldn't really be anyone boarding these places up.
Good.
I pushed one door open further, which
Makes
led to a loud
easier, I
groan
bet.
that echoed through the trees. The air inside was thick with dust and the scent of old wood. Light poured through the shattered, stained glass windows. Some of the pews were overturned or missing entirely. The pulpit stood crooked at the front, and behind it, an arched doorway led further into darkness. I did the usual, scanned the inside with my flashlight, and took a few pictures for my archive on my digital camera.
Okay, you have
there
your
was an eerie
archive.
beauty to the decay,
collection.
a holy place like a church in near ruin.
Yeah.
It was beautiful but tragic.
Is it? Is
I
it
walked
tragic?
slowly toward the back of the church where the arched doorway was. I stepped through it and found a narrow hallway that led to what looked like old storage rooms. One door was missing entirely, and the others were splintered or hanging off their hinges.
Weird.
Cobwebs clung to the ceiling everywhere, and then I saw at the end of the hallway was a stairway leading down into the basement.
You did go in?
Jackpot, I thought. Like I said, I used to not let anything scare me. Nothing within reason, at least.
Okay.
Something about exploring abandoned basements excited me. But this time, something
A
about
bit
that
weird.
basement door hanging open, leading to the darkness below, made me pause. I, honest to God, got a slight chill. But I kept going. I started down the stairs slowly, and each step creaked so loud that I feared I'd fall through the wood.
You
Then I counted 7 steps until my right foot landed on one that gave way with a loud crack.
Oh.
And before I could react, it collapsed under me.
Oh, shit.
I fell hard and landed in a pile of junk and dirt below the stairs.
Oh, that must hurt.
I fell directly on my ass and hurt my tailbone.
Ooh.
I let out some kind of audible complaint. Probably a "God damn it" or something. My flashlight flew out of my hands, so I crawled over to grab it. That was when I heard a voice.
Oh.
It was a higher-pitched sounding voice.
What?
Either a woman or a young boy. It was saying words, but I couldn't understand any of them, except for one thing. They said hello. The rest was gibberish, like someone trying to talk but didn't know how.
Get out.
I stood up and pointed the flashlight around. It was just an old basement. Some busted furniture, mostly cots, a dirt floor, stone walls. But then I saw a tunnel in the wall. It looked like it was dug out by hand.
How?
As I approached it, I realized the voice was coming from down there.
Oh,
I started walking toward it.
Why?
I was being dumb.
Yeah.
But I had to know what it was.
Why?
I stepped just a couple of steps inside the tunnel and looked around. The walls were rough, not smooth. It had definitely been dug out with a shovel by hand.
Oh.
My flashlight started flickering, and I nearly had a heart attack. I hit it a few times, and it stayed on. Doing so made a louder noise than I anticipated, though.
Yeah.
The voice got louder. Still just gibberish with that same weird tone. But I could now confirm it was coming from deeper inside this tunnel. And then it stopped.
Why?
Everything was quiet for a few seconds. Then I heard a click. 2 seconds later, another click.
The same noise.
Same rhythm and sound as the well, and the sound echoed.
It came from
These
here.
clicks and the gibberish echoing voice were getting louder.
No.
My heart was now in my throat, so I turned and ran back.
Good.
I reached the stairs and remembered one of the steps was broken.
Yeah, double around
I found it easier to grab the sides of the stairs and pull myself up,
Good.
instead of trying to hop over the broken step. My flashlight dropped, but it didn't matter.
Okay.
I was leaving the basement back to the light of the upstairs. I got to the top and didn't look back. I ran through the hallway, through the main room, and out the front doors. I ran past the well and stopped for a second.
But the
clicking sound was gone. There was no
you're
noise
not there
at all.
anymore.
Come to think of it, it was dead silent. I didn't even hear any birds.
Ooh.
I looked down the well one more time. Still pitch blackness. With that, I turned and ran through the woods, making it to my car much faster than I made it to the church, albeit completely out of breath. I cut the day short and didn't explore the other places on my list.
Good.
This was just one of those experiences where you don't know what to think, and you just drive home in silence with the music off. I didn't give up my hobby of exploring entirely, but I took a break.
A bit
I was
crazy.
admittedly very spooked. I hope it was just some other kids exploring in there trying to mess with people. But I don't know. When I think about it, that sounds really unlikely.
Homeless people. It's probably homeless people, right? Or murderers. It could be a murderer. You have no reason to think anything malicious, though. Story 2 by Anonymous.
This happened to me a while ago, and is still stuck in my mind. Me and my friends often like to be in the outdoors.
Okay.
I'll refer to my friends as John and Anthony.
Yeah.
We were bored and decided to go fishing deep in the woods near some farmland. We were chased out by a farmer and his dog. We tried to hide, but his dog found us, and he threatened to call the police, even though he was already on the phone with his friend, which we found weird. Honestly, we kind of found it funny. So, for whatever reason, we thought it would be a good idea to go back the next day and sneak onto the property to explore it. It was nearing about an hour before dark, and this property was huge, acres upon acres.
Yeah.
We had to hike through some deep woods, similar to the one we had been fishing in before. Although we scoped it out on Google Maps, it was still easy to get lost. I remember thinking to myself that we should be out of there before dark.
You should.
At first, everything seemed normal, and I wasn't getting any bad gut feelings. We were admiring the horses and petting them.
Nice.
I remember thinking it was weird having all this farmland and only horses. I compared it in my head to my uncle's farm, which is a lot smaller, but has about 10 different types of animals, not just one.
I don't know, it might be a specialty place, maybe this place, is where, people can go and ride horses. I don't know much about farms at all.
Brushed it off and thought that maybe the owner specialized in horses.
Yeah.
After walking through the woods, we reached the fence bordering the property. John was leading the way, I was in the middle, and Anthony was behind us. This is when we stumbled upon a rundown house with multiple trophy cars and a broken down RV. We were shocked at the discovery and snuck around some of the cars. There was also a very creepy rundown shed. It was crazy to see. I even took this video.
Oh. Oh, wow. That makes sense.
There were multiple Porsches, Range Rovers, Ford Raptors, Bentley sports cars, Corvettes, and Ferraris.
That's weird.
The deeper we got and the more cars we saw, we realized we probably shouldn't be seeing this, since some of the cars were parted out.
What did that
mean? We suspected it was probably a criminal ring stealing cars.
Really?
After we had seen all the cars, John decided it was a good idea to explore the inside of the camper while Anthony kept lookout.
Okay.
I held the door open for John since he's kind of the smallest, so I thought he would be best suited to explore it. There was evidence somebody was living there. Fishing rods, fresh food, bedding, and other stuff. Although the camper was run down, we understood it was somebody's home, so we got out of there. I forgot to mention there were also car tires inside.
Oh.
We were not there to break or destroy anything, just look around. We snuck around to the back of the property where all the cars were. There were side-by-sides, and we made the connection that they were probably used to run the property. There was also a rundown shed, and when we went inside the back of it, we caught a foul, horrible smell.
Oh no.
We kind of just brushed it off and laughed,
joking that
maybe it could be a body. None of us really believed it, though. Then we heard the gate at the entrance of the property open and slam. It was about 1,000 feet away. We were heading back to the wood line because we didn't want anyone to see us, and that's when a van turned onto the street we were on.
No.
It was nearing dusk, and the headlights were on, so we sprinted through the woods, not sure if he saw us. This is when we probably should have left, but we decided to explore the other side of the property.
Why?
After walking along the outskirts and hiking through more woods, there were a lot more horses, but we finally got to the main house of the property.
Okay.
Again, it seemed very run down. About 25 feet to the right was another camper, or at least what looked like a camper. It was massive, about 50 feet long, and probably hadn't moved in 50 years.
Wow!
We almost missed it because it was completely covered in vines. Right next to it was another rundown jet ski, also covered in vines.
Okay.
We managed to get the door open, but didn't want to make too much noise since we were so close to the main house. Even though it seemed abandoned, we wanted to be cautious. Not just because we were trespassing, but because there was similar suspicious stuff on both ends of the property, which I could only assume was connected to the car stealing ring. I knew if we were caught, it would be a problem.
Yeah.
We snuck around the house and saw what was probably the most luxurious car on the property.
Really?
Although it was run down and old, it was still an amazing sports car, a Ferrari.
Ooh.
I didn't get a picture or video since we were still near the main house and the horses were making a lot of noise.
Okay.
We got sketched out on the far end of the property. There was a boat and cooler inside a fridge. John looked around the boat.
So, this place just has like, a bunch of vehicles. Are you sure they're not just making extra money as like a dump? You know, hey, bring your shit over here, dump it. I don't know. Do they pay us or do we pay them? Maybe they pay us to like
and the
keep their
cooler
shit.
was about 15 feet into some very thick vegetation. We joked about the probability of a body being in there. At this point, the mood was still kind of jokey because we were exploring something we weren't supposed to see. When we got closer to the freezer, another terrible smell came.
Yeah.
Like the smell of death and rot.
Yeah.
We decided to back off, assuming the worst, and didn't want to open it in case there was something we really didn't want to see in there. We got a bad vibe, and we were on our way back when Anthony started hearing things.
What?
We paused and listened with him, and we heard the noises too.
What are they?
I can't really describe them. I don't know if they were just normal wood noises or if everything just seemed amplified because we were paranoid. The vegetation was about head high, and there was a rock that each of us took turns standing on to get a better view of the property. When John went up there, we were still laughing and joking. Then he turned to us, looking like he had just seen a ghost. He wouldn't speak, so I decided to get on the rock and look for myself. What I saw is seared into my brain.
What?
Over the vegetation, I saw a man sitting at a table with a black cat. That wasn't the scary part.
Okay, what was?
When I looked at his face, there was no hair, no eyes, no mouth, no nose, no facial features at all.
What the fuck?
You can call me crazy, but I know what I saw. We were about 50 feet away, and it felt like the man was staring at us, but we genuinely couldn't see his eyes since he had no features. There was also a woman with him who made direct eye contact with me.
They had eyes?
That was the moment she started running in a direction to cut us off from the property.
Shit.
I don't know if the man's featureless face was real, or if he had white medical tape or bandages covering it.
Okay.
I still can't decide. But his face was pure white, and his head was very small. Okay. I still can't get it out of my head. After that, it was still dark, and we had a long hike through the woods to get back to where we came from. We felt as if we were being followed almost the whole way, and we almost took a route that was 2 miles out just to get away.
Wow.
There were weird noises like stomping feet, galloping, and screams.
Oh.
We tried to be quiet through the woods, but also tried to move quickly. We ended up making it back and made sure we weren't followed. I genuinely still don't know what that was, or if it was human, but I can't get this experience out of my head, and I know none of us will ever go back.
Okay, well, it was probably human. I mean, you said his face was white, and you also suggested that it could have been medical tape. So it probably was medical tape, or just a really good mask. If you saw them from really far away, it could just be a mask. Either that, or it's a human who actually does have no features. But, that seems unlikely compared to the alternatives. I did not expect these videos to be more about people who trespass than people trespassing on the storyteller. So, yeah. I think I'm going to break this up into 2 parts, and I hope to see you guys next time for part 2. Bye!